Right, here we go, guys. It's month 20 of our craft club, and it's all about gift boxes techniques, where you're going to get everything you need to make these super cool gift boxes. But we have to actually get started, don't we? So what are we going to be getting inside? Well, we're going to be getting our index card that's going to tell us the over 103 pieces that are included within month 20. You guys know by now, it always comes packet in its own little pocket here that you can pop into its binder. Now, when it comes to the actual craft club, as well as the tutorial videos that you can just scan that QR code, you've also got them in written form as well. So you've got your pictures, you've got your wording, that one covering the shell gift box. The second one is covering the basic box, and then the third one is covering the rainbow box. You've got the ability to write little notes for yourself, but you've got the videos, you've got the pictures, and you've got the written steps. Now, to actually do the boxes, you get all of this. Now, this is going to be template form. So you're going to get one template that's going to enable you to do the shell box, because you're going to do this twice. We are then going to be giving you these templates here, which is going to enable you to do the really cool rainbow box. So you've got those four together, being the sides and also top, bottom as well. Then what we're going to be giving you is these two. Now this one is going to be making that basic box. So you've either got 2, 3 or 1 template for each of the different boxes. So that's in there all included. Then what we're going to be giving you are some dies to actually decorate. So when it comes to the actual dies, you've got the die for the rainbow. You've even got this one here that's going to create the little bow, but then you've also got this little tag, which is super, super cute. 6 dies in total there. All of them come individually packaged, as you know. We're then giving you some satin ribbon as well. Look at the beautiful tones that you've got, real vibrant along the line of the deep, vibrant pastel tones. That's in there, giving you the 3 reels in total, just to let you know it's 1 metre in length each one. Then we're even giving you the hook and loop. So if you're wanting to seal your boxes, we're even giving you the positive and the negative of the hook and loops. All of them are included. We're then going to be giving you these little panels here. So these are 4x4, and these are going to be 9 in total. These are where you can do your little die cut mats and layers, add your sentiments, add your decoration if you want to. That's in there. Then also to decorate, look at all this glitter card. These are 5x5 and you're getting 15 of them. You're getting your purple, your red, your gold, your blue and your silver as well. That's going to look beautiful with the rainbow. So that's in there. Then we're also going to be giving you the 6x6 embossing folder. It's a seashell embossing folder. You're going to use that in conjunction with the seashell template if you want to. That's in there. We're even giving you 15 sheets of this tissue paper. Because it's gift boxes, you maybe want to wrap some of your little presents, some of your little gifts in with the tissue paper, or maybe you just want to then bunch it all up and pop it inside. That's in there. So that comes individually packaged as well. Then we're going to be giving you all of this cardstock. 21 sheets of all this cardstock, 8x8, uncoated, so you can do your plain boxes, so you can colour, stamp, you can do all your distressing, or of course, you've got your block colours there to then use the templates and draw around. So all of that is what's included when it comes to month number 20. All about the gift box techniques. Whether it's simple boxes, whether it's a little bit more advanced, you can do these different styles with number 20. When it comes to the seashell, if you're going to be wanting to make that, this is what you're going to be doing. Now, when it comes to month 20, which is all about the gift box techniques, there's 3 boxes that you could be making. This is one of them. How cute and cool is that? That is your seashell box with the embossing folder with a little bit of glitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you can construct the box, then you could decorate it, just like I have here. Now, when it comes to this one, what you are going to be needing, of course, is that template all about the seashell. Now you are going to have to do this twice. I've already done it a second time. I'll show you the first time here. And then all that we're going to do is you can either draw around the whole template, or you can then go into the corner there and just draw around the rest. Now I'm just going to hold it with my fingers. You could tape it down or a repositionable spray if you've got one there. And then what I'm also going to do is use a pencil. Now, if you don't have a pencil like this, if you've got one of those kind of mechanical pencils, you can use that. Or if you do happen to have things such as the heat erasable pens, why not use that one? The other option is run it through with your electric Gemini with the embossing mat, and then that will emboss the detail. So you've got options, but myself, I always go kind of the traditional way with your stencils and templates, and that's draw around them with a pencil. And then that is what we're going to be left with. So you can just start to see that pencil line. Now what we are going to do is we're going to cut all the way around. These ones here are actually score lines, so we're going to keep them in play. So take your own size of scissors that you feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable with my little snippy scissors. So what I would recommend is chop away as much of that excess as you can, and you can keep that for other projects. And then we're just going to simply start to cut around. Remember, as I was saying, we're cutting around the outside edge. These pencil lines in the middle, these are going to be our score lines. So we're going to then work our way in. Now notice here, I find it hard to get in there with my scissors. So what I do is I come back and I take, tends to be what I call a running cut. So I'll come in here and I just find that a lot easier to get in to that little nook and cranny there. And then we're just going to chop it out and take that bit out. If we need to go in and find that out, we can do that. Alternatively, you can use a craft knife if you want. So we're just going to work our way around here. And I'm going to do the same again. So I'm going to then just come a little bit further, simply because I find, it's not impossible, but I find it a little bit harder, and sometimes there's a chance that you're going to actually start to tear in to the little scallops. So I'll turn it around and then start to cut in that way, so we can then just pop them out. So let's continue that on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my way in this way first to start with. So we can then work that in, start by going on that edge and cutting in. So before I finish that, let's take that excess away, and then we can come back in that other direction, and then we can then just start to snip them out. Follow the scallop all the way around. If you are using a craft knife, I would recommend one of the glass mats that we do. You can use a self-healing mat if you want to, but because we've got the little scallops in there, I find that the glide with a glass mat really does help get a nice, neat cut. But as always, it's personal preference for yourself. So we're just going to cut down into there, and then we're just going to snip that little bit out from that little tab, take that one out, and then we're just going to then finish that off there and then there at an angle. So we're going to take those little bits out of the way for now. What we can then do is we can then bring in our scoreboard. So you can either bring in your Ultimate Pro, or I'm just going to go in here with, of course, my Score Master, and we're going to then go in with our scoring tool. So all that you're wanting to do is you're just wanting to then score these lines. Now we can then go right from top to bottom, and although your scoreboard doesn't come with a glass mat, or doesn't come with a black line, say that again, your black line, this does help by popping your own black line in for you to then, of course, start to line up. So let's pop that into place like so, and then we've got our score lines in. But before we do anything else, what we of course want to do is we want to emboss with that embossing folder. So we're going to go in, I'm just going to use my MIDI for this one. Now the actual embossing folder itself is going to be your 2D embossing folder, which is this one here. So we're going to open it up. Now, what we need to keep in mind is if I'm going to fold it that way, that means this side is going to be the side that's facing us. So I want the embossed detail to be facing upwards. So what we're then going to do is we're going to go in that way here, and the actual design lines up with the cardstock. So we're just going to align that up, and then we're just going to close that over. Now, because this is a 2D embossing folder, this is where we're going to need our shim from the MIDI. Run that one through like so. Now, if you're using the Gemini, the Junior, the G2, that's then going to, of course, be your 2 cutting plates. What I always like to do is have a look as well. Yep, perfect. Sometimes I want to enhance that little emboss with a shim of cardstock, but no, what we've got is we've got the detail. You can see that it's popping through within that scallop there. So what we can then do is we can just lightly fold these in, and then I'm going to bring in a little bit of ink. So if I go in with crushed velvet, and this is from our water reactive, and then I'm just going to go around the sides to start with. So I'm just etching all the way around when it comes to the actual scallops of the shell, and then we're working that in side to the base here. I'm not going too heavy. I don't want it too strong around the edge. I just want to have that little bit of deep purple that's creating that additional accent when it comes to the shell. And then I'm inking up, I'm going onto my glass mat, and then what I'm going to do is lightly, I'm going to go back and forwards, and I'm doing it lightly because I only want the purple to be picked up from those indentations of the shell. So we're just going to then build that up, rock it back and forwards, add our detail when it comes to the ink. You can go around the base if you want to, but I'm just keeping it around the shell. And then what you can then do is do that again. So you're going to then bring in a second one, which will then look like that one. Now, purposely what I've done is I've not inked and I've not embossed that one because I want you to see the difference. So within that one there, what we have got is we've got it unembossed. That one is embossed. So what we can also do in a moment is bring in one that I've completely completed, as I'm away to show you with this here. So what we want to do is we want to start to assemble it. So I'm going to be using my red liner tape. You can use your glue if you want to. So I'm going to go in here, and then I'm just going to pull that edge, and I'm going to go over that glue tab. Now for just now, all we need is one bit there and then one bit here. So we're going to chop that off, and then we're going to come along. I'm taking my pokey tool to take that off. So we're going to pick that up. If it comes off, just give that a really good press. It's a good thing to make sure it's nicely adhered to your cardstock. Let's do the same there. And then we're going to pick that one up there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to turn that one around here. Now, what I'm going to want to do, and I'm holding it up that way, I do want the edges to be straight. So I'm not coming towards the edge of the seashell that you can see there. Otherwise, that's then going to give you more of an open base. What I want is I want them to have that 90-degree corner at each side here. So I'm going to do that. Let's just give that a good press. We can give that a burnish if you want to. I like to lay it flat so that I can then use my eyes to line up. So if we go in, making sure I'm at that 90-degree, press down. I'm then going to just turn that one around, making sure I'm following the measurements on my glass mat as well, that that's 90-degree. And then we're going to be left with that one there. So you've got one, and then you're going to repeat exactly the same with the second one. So I've done exactly the same. Now you can join them first if you want to. I actually prefer to do them both separately and join them like that because it gives you more of a stable base. Only thing you need to keep in mind is, of course, we're just going to be adding our adhesive in midair. It's not the end of the world, and as I say, I actually prefer to do it this way. If you want to do it while it's laid down, that's up to you, but we're just going to then snip, work it from the side to the side. Let's take that one here. If you want to then use your tacky glue, you can do that. Also gives you that movability. When it comes to adhesive, things like that, it's always personal preference. Maybe you want to be using your tape runners, but you guys know me. You know I will either use my red liner tape or I will use a tacky glue for construction. So we're just going to then pick up at that corner, take that one off. We're going to go in with that second one and take that one off. We're then going to come in here, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to then slot that in. Now you will just need to be careful because of course we're using a red liner tape, but when we've got that in, we've all lined that up, we can go in and I'm just going to press with my finger at the side and then the side, and then what you can do if you want to, come in with something small, maybe like your actual applicator, and then press down as well. That's then just giving you that extra pressure. Instead of trying to get your fingers in there, just going in with a little bottle to press down. And then at this point, while it's all been constructed, what you can do is you can go in with maybe one of your glitter glues that I've got. This one's just been our crystal clear one. And then I'm going to go along, I'm going to follow the lines. Now I would do this while it's constructed. If you want to, you can do it while it's all laid down, but you will of course need to let that dry before you construct it. Otherwise, you might actually start to smear it all over the place. So we can then follow that down. I'm not going to do it all because I've got my finished one at the side. Then you're going to go into your box of stash of stamps, maybe your die cut sentiments. You're going to see what ones you're going to be using. What are your favourites? Maybe you're going to be using some of your nautical collections in with the sentiments for the seashell. But you can then keep going all the way down, and then that one just being that clear one. So when it then starts to dry, you're going to get that nice subtle sparkle with the glitter glue. Pop in some of the actual tissue paper that you get included. That is how it's going to be looking once you make it from scratch. And then when you start to decorate it, add in some of the ribbon that comes included, adding in that tissue paper that's also included, and then taking one of your many sentiments, as I said, even from your stash or from all of your past craft clubs. But that one there is all about the gift box technique, which is from Craft Club month number 20. Right, month number 20 with the Craft Club is all about the gift box techniques we can be making. Look at that one there. That one, it's like a little chest box. And we've even got that hook and loop included as well for you to seal it. And of course, you've got the tissue paper to pop inside. Now we're going to make and construct the box, and then you can decorate it however you like. So you're going to take your chosen cardstock. Now I've gone for that beautiful pink. Now when it comes to that beautiful pink, of course, we're going to be needing our templates. Now for this box here, you're going to be needing these two. Now you only need to draw around each of them once. Now what we can then do is take our pencil. Now you will see here, I've already started to draw around them. So all that we're going to do is we can, as I said in a previous video, you can go in the middle and draw around the whole lot, or if you want to, you can go in with your card right up to a 90-degree corner and then draw around. So you're going to draw all the way around and including the score lines. So we've done that, and then of course we're going to go in with the second one. Now with this one, you'll see you'll be able to get 2 out of this one. So again, you're going to go up to the edges as you can, draw around, and then you're going to go in with the score lines. Once you've done that, that is also what you are left with. So we're going to do a little bit of cutting, not too much, but we'll go in and then we'll cut what we can here. Now with this one, what you could also do is you could use your V-blade paper trimmer. With these, you won't be able to use the guillotine because the guillotine, once you start cutting, you have to cut the whole way. Now, what I mean by that, if you start to cut there, you're going to end up chopping the whole lot. So this is where your V-blade paper trimmer, scissors, or of course, craft knife and ruler are going to be the ones to do the perfect job. So we're going around with all of these boxes. You're only cutting the outside edge. The pencil lines within the middle, they are going to be your score lines. So we're going to go in and follow along. Notice I kind of go section by section. I don't always go around from start to end. Sometimes I do, but not always. Sometimes I twist and turn as I'm doing within this one to make it easier for myself. So let's go in and then follow from the start to the edge. If you're using a pencil, you will notice with the pencil line, you can take your eraser and rub it out, or the way you form the boxes, you can form them so the pencil lines are on the inside. A little bit different with this one, because if you do it that way, you will still see the pencil line on that inner edge because of the way that it folds. I will explain as we start to create it, but certainly for, of course, this top lid part, you're probably going to take your eraser and rub it out. So let's roughly cut all that excess, and then it makes it a little bit easier so you're not fighting with all of that card. So let's go into the edge, chop that out, go into the edge and chop that one out. These little tabbed sections, if you're not already aware of things like that, these are going to be your glue tabs, or of course any adhesive you choose to use. You can be using your tape runners from Crafter's Companion. You know our tape runners from Crafter's Companion are great for construction. I am very old school, and I'll still predominantly, I'll use a wet glue, either that or a red liner tape, because that's the stickiest tape you can get. So we've got our two sections when it comes to our box. So once you've got them, what we're then going to do is we're then going to go in with our scoreboard. So let's bring in our scoreboard. With all of the tutorial videos you'll see with month 20, I'm using the Score Master. However, you can be using your A4 or letter size scoreboard from things such as your Ultimate Pro. And then we're going to go in and we're going to score. This is a good example of a black line down your scoreboard. So here, it's not overly complicated, but just making sure that you're matched up in that right grid, that right channel, can be a little bit complicated. Am I in that right one? Whereas you go to a black line that you've created yourself, these don't come with a black line, in the center point or at any measurement you want, put a black line, and visually I know that that is bang center on the correct line. So we're going to score. I do it lightly and a few times, and then we're going to work our way along, lightly and a few times. Make it easier for yourself. So just like cutting, flip and rotate, and then we're going to lightly score, turn that around, and we're going to do the same here. So I can see that's in my black grid, my black channel, and we're going to do the same here. So really quite simple to cut these ones, as well as really quite simple to form. We're going to do the same here. Another prime example. This is a good way to show how the black line that you would pop in yourself is a great way to eye up the correct lines. Turn that around, and you can see here. In case anyone noticed there, I done it lightly and maybe about 3 times. Here I'm going back and forwards. There's no rhyme nor reason that I'm doing that. Sometimes I'll do it lightly a few times, and sometimes I'll just go back and forwards. So if anyone's wondering what's the difference of why I'm doing it, there is no difference. Just depends, well, I suppose it depends on my mood or what I think of at that time. So now we've got our base, and we've of course got our lid. So let's start to form them to start with. So another good reminder is the side where your pencil lines are going to be the inside. So let's just pop that together here and bring that one in here. I would recommend at this point, this is when you're going to want to decorate the outside edge, makes it easier to mat and layer, but that's entirely up to yourself. We're going to do the same here, so let's pop these ones in. We're going to fold these ones over, and then we're going to come in within that one and then that one. Now what's going to happen here is that, so if we hold it out and press it out that way so you can see visually. Remember, you've still got the booklet as well. The booklet will show you, but if you lay them out that way, and then that glue tab is going to interlock to there. So that's the easiest way to remember that one. What we're then doing is I'm going to do my red liner tape for the sake of this video. So let's go in here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this connection tab first. So snip that off. Now this one happens to be a 6mm red liner tape, 6mm. That's a good one. You will just need to double layer. You can use your thicker ones and just use a 1 layer. Or if you are using a thin 3mm, you'll maybe need to do that 3 times depending on the size of the glue tab. So let's just get under there with our pokey tool, and then let's turn that back on itself, and we're going to align this one up. Now at this point, you're going to take your eraser and rub out the lines. I'm not going to, of course, I've got a finished one just coming up shortly. But that is now essentially, that is the full construction of your box when it comes to the laid out form. Now what we're going to do is assemble. So we're going to just turn that around, and again on these 4 glue tabs, we're going to go in and add our tape. Now what I am going to show you is I am lucky, I have access to abundance of red liner tape. If you don't, and you don't have much, and you only want to put 1 strip, what you're going to want to do is you're wanting to then just pop them to the edge. So I'm going to go into the edge here, or you can, if you want to, go to that inner edge. So let's pop that one there, and then I'm going to just pop that here, and then let's just snip these off. Now they're overlapping, doesn't matter, they'll still come off and they'll still stick to the box. So snip, and then snip the last 2. Now if you've already seen the tutorial video with the seashell box, you will know that I went round with my crushed velvet purple ink pad. You can do the same with this one. My finished one, I've gone round with the fuchsia water reactive, and we'll show you that just shortly. But at this point, let's just peel these ones off. Now, some people do this differently. Now, what I mean by that is, if you know our Leanne will take 1 section off at a time, and then the remaining one. So what I mean by that is Leanne would join that one together, then take the next one, join that, then take the next one, whereas myself, and it's just a personal preference, I prefer to take them all off in a oneer. So we're just going to work our way, twist and turn here. Now where you've got that little overlap, just hold that down. That's then going to secure it, and then we're going to carry on. So we're going to go into these bits, over into there, hold that down, peel off, and then what we're then doing is doing that next one, like so, and then peel these ones off here. What I also want to let you guys know is if you guys have our Crafter's Companion template library, none of these boxes are in our template library. These are brand new style boxes for our craft club. So there's no duplication or anything similar. Now let's press that one in, and then work our way around and press that one in, turn that around, press that one in, and then we're going to finish off within that one there. Now I'm then going to come along with anything, could be a paintbrush, whatever it is. I've just got one of our spatula, and I'm just going to lay that on its side here, and then I'm just going to press down so that I can give that a really good grip. You can go in with your fingers if you want, but I do prefer to press down. It can be, if you want, anything. What I mean by that could even be the handle, could be the end of a pen, whatever you want, but that's just to then, of course, reinforce those score lines. We're going to fold that back again, we're going to fold that over. Now you can either tuck in, or what we have also got as well, included within Craft Club Month 20, is the hook and loop. Now they come separate, So if I take them apart, so they come on their own individual sheet, my biggest tip for you, pop them together, and they've already got their double-sided stickiness. I would, at home, what I would do is add a little bit of our wet glue, white wet glue, to reinforce it. But what we're going to do is we're going to pop that onto the lid there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to peel that off. Now I know that the positive and negative are going to be in the exact same place, one on lid, one on the side, for you to join up. So if we come along here, I'm just going to make sure that's nice and snug. We're going to press that in like so, give that a nice press. I'm going to hold down with my fingers to start with. So I'm going to ease that out like that, and then I'm going to give that a really, really good press down and a really, really good press down here. So we can press that down, press that down. That is now in the correct spot. Then what we can do, now I've already die cut these. You guys know, you've done die cutting many, many times, and we've just ran that through. Whether it's a small Gemini, large Gemini, it's entirely up to yourself. And I've also gone round with a little bit of fuchsia. For this, let's take our poke tool. We're just going to then shape that. We're also then going to shape that one there. Let's pop a little bit of our red liner tape within the middle here. And what's lovely is if you've got any actual bows or any home decor items, start to use that in with these projects. We're going to peel that one off, and then we're just going to take one side, we're going to meet in the middle, turn that around, we're going to meet that one in the middle. Then what we can do is in the middle of the tails here, let's pop our red liner tape or our glue, and then we're just going to carefully peel that off. We're going to turn that down, so where we've got that seam within the middle, that's going to go upside down, and then we're going to press that into place like so. And then you will notice what I have got is this little die here. That's going to wrap around the edge. Now I have misplaced mine, so let's just quickly run it through so you can see. I'm using the MIDI again, but because this is a little die, and this is how you're going to use all the other dies there, pop that in, like so, tape it down to be secure if you want. If you're using a little bit of waste, run that. Now that's then going to hide the workings within that center section. So let's lift that one up. I've now got that tiny little rectangle strip, and either, once again, red liner tape or your tacky glue. This one, let's go in just with my really fine red liner tape. Let's get that end going, and then finishing it all off. You're going to decorate it, of course. Peel that one off, work that around. Let's add that in, straight down the center there. Pop it on, snip that one off, and then all we need to do, peel that one off, giving it a burnish. I'm going to take that, let's just get into that corner so that we can lift it with our poke tool. Now if that comes off like it has, let's take another bit like this. We're going to match that right from the start to the end, making sure we give that bit better of a burnish. So I'm just going to use the back of my poke tool, press that down, and then let's take the edge. We're going to go right in to the edge there, taking it off, which I had. There we go. And then we're going to wrap around. So simply take your bow, pop that in the middle, wrap round, and how cute is that? Your cute little bow that you've got, that if I bring in this one here, which is where I have inked, we can just finish that one off with my red liner tape. So you can have that undecorated, you can have it decorated, or you can have it inked. And in this example, where I was talking about only having limited amount of red liner tape, what you're going to do, if you're only doing one strip, then go to that scored edge. Add it up to your scored edge, taking that one too, like so. We're just then going to fold that one in. So you can then bring your papers. What about bringing your embossing folders? Decorate it till your heart's content. Add in, of course, your hook and loop. So you've got your inky box, your un-inky box. You've then got your little bow. Are you going on the top? Are you going on the front? Are you maybe going down on the bottom? Maybe you're going to the side. It's entirely up to yourself. But when you then come along and then decorate it, your gems, your pearls, your own little sentiment stamps from past craft clubs, you can have fun. Many, many different things that you can pop inside. That one's from Craft Club. It's month number 20 and it's all about the gift box techniques. Now, when it comes to Craft Club month number 20, which is all about the gift box techniques, look at this one. How stinking cute is that one? It's a rainbow, but look, it is actually a physical, usable, giftable box. How cute and cool is that? And you know something? It actually really is easy to put together. You've got the templates. So let's bring them in here. Now, you have got 4 templates, and you have got your base template, which we've got here. So we're going to go base and base. Now you'll see it, base template, and then we've also got lid template and lid template. And that is because if you think back to your actual box making scoreboards, one side is slightly different from the other one. And that's the same here. Although they look identical, one of them being that box base, slightly smaller than the box lid. So let's pop these ones to the side for now. And then what we're going to do, you've guessed it, we're going to draw around. Now I have already started to draw around these ones, but all that you're going to do is you're going to go in with whatever ones you want to start with. So you can go in with your template lid, draw around, including the score lines, where you're then going to be getting something like that. Now you will be able to see you can do the box base and the box lid all in the one sheet, and I've also just put box base and box lid as well. What I'm also going to just do on side here is this one, do B for base and then L for lid, so that when I cut them out I know what one is which. And then if I turn this one around, we've got exactly the same. So we've drawn around the base of the template, lining it up onto the cardstock, that one being that one there, and then we're simply going to draw around. Now my biggest tip is to make sure that your pencil is really quite sharp to go into all of these little notches all the way down there. But then that's what you're going to be left with. And in actual fact, you would even get a third one within the middle. So what we're doing is let's take this one to start with, because I've got a really big tip when it comes to the actual edges, and this is going to be your 12mm red liner tape. So what we're going to do, we're going to be taking our scissors, of course. So once again, if you've watched all of the other tutorial videos yet on month number 20, you'll know that I like to cut away all of this excess to start with. So we're just going to take that one out, and then we're going to work our way up section by section. So we're going to go in and then snip these ones out. So I'm not going to go right into that section there. What we're going to do is we're going to cut, and we're just going to follow until we get to that base section. So once we're there, we're going to stop. I'm going to go back into here and take that run and cut. Let's just snip that one out, prise that one away, and then we're going to go into there and into there. So that's me got my lid that you can see. So let's bring these ones in that I've already cut. So I've already got my base and I've got my lid here. I've got my little reminder so that I know. I have already scored them, but let's just show you what we're going to do to score them. We're just going to go in, and then I'm going to line them up with my black line. So we're going to go top and bottom, and then we're just going to go in and then score. And we're going to do exactly the same for the lid, and exactly the same for, of course, the base. So I've got lid and base all done. Then we're going to go in with that other piece of cardstock that has got the sides here. Now we are going to cut these ones out because I want to give you a big tip here. So I'm going to go in and then let's chop these away. Now we're going to chop in at the edges. Don't cut in those little notches just yet. Let's cut all of that edge off. So following all the way along, all the way up till we get to the top. Now I'm going to do the same here. So let's very quickly chop that away. So we're going to take that one away, and let's get my red liner tape to hand. So let's take that in, and then we're going to chop it off. Now what I'm going to do before I go any further, I'm just going to do B for base, L for lid, because I've already chopped the base and the lid off that I've written at the side. And let's go all the way up. Now, if you chop in at these little sections just now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to put your red liner tape on every single individual cube. We don't want to do that. So what we are going to do is we're going to run that all the way along. So let's take our scoreboard first. Now those little notches, those little sections, you don't have to score them because there are cut lines. All that we need to do is score that line. So we're going to score that a few times, and then we're going to go in with our lid, and we're going to score that a few times. Now this section here is going to be perfect with your 12mm red liner tape. So we're going to, and because this is going to fold inwards like that, what we're going to do is we're going to put the red liner tape on the back. Also means it makes it easier to see the pencil lines. And we're going to travel. We're going to travel all the way along like that. And then we're going to do the same with the base. Let's just manipulate it slightly, turn it around. We're going to travel all the way along. Now, if you don't have the 12mm, you can use the 6mm and do it twice. Or, of course, you can use your 3mm and do that a few times more. Let's turn this one around. Now you can see, instead of having to do them all individually, what we can do is we can then just go in, we can chop these out, and I'll go so far and turn it around for you to see. So if we go in, work our way down to, of course, your pencil line. So within these notches, you might see the way we've drawn around, the pencil mark doesn't quite meet up with that pencil line strip. All you're going to do is you're just going to make sure your cut line meets at that pencil line. So we're going to work that in, snip these out, in here, in here. We are saving ourselves so much time. We are saving ourselves so much stress that we don't have to add the tape individually. And when it comes to that, I mean like that. Each section has its own piece of red liner tape. And you can see here, we've not had to faff about by doing it individually, sticking it on, trimming the excess. It's all there together. So we're going to do that again here. So we've got our strip and turn that around. So we're doing nothing different. The only difference is this is the lid and not the base. And you don't need to worry. All you need to do is you need to then just make sure your lid side is then, of course, matching with your lid, well, the lid basically. So let's snip these ones out. what I'd also say for anyone that's maybe new to box making or maybe new to concept of boxes, make sure you keep the backing on just now. I wouldn't peel that off, then do the snipping. Otherwise, you can get yourself in a little bit of a tangle with your scissors sticking to it, or any of these little waste pieces can jump underneath, stick to it. And because it's really strong, it means it could rip your card, it could tear it. So keep the backing in place, snip all these out, and then we're going to then take all the backings off. So let's go into this last one here to the pencil line, like so, and then there we go. Really, really easy, and each section is now done. So turn that one around again. So that's my lid, that's my base, that's my lid, and that's my base. So let's start to assemble them. So on here, what we're then going to do is this is then going to start to work its way around. So this is going to essentially travel all the way like so. So what I'm going to want to do is stick these edges in first. So if we go into the edges here and start to turn, so let's add our red liner tape on here. I'm going to just go back to my 6mm for this one. And the only reason being is these edges are just a teeny little bit tight for your 12mm. You can add the 12mm and then just snip any excess pieces away. We're going to go in now with our pokey tool, and we're going to peel that off and peel that one off here. Let's go in now with this section. So before I start to attach it, I am going to take these bits off. Now I know that you're thinking, well, yeah, that's great, Craig, you do all these little bits, but now you have to spend ages peeling them off. Look at that. Because of the size of it being 12mm, they come off really, really easily. And referring back to a previous video for month number 20 with these decorative boxes, I've talked about, of course, if you want to be like Leanne and just take a few off, you can do, or like myself, take them all off. It's entirely up to yourself. So I'm just going to go back in here, and I'm just going to get myself familiar. So remember, that is going to go around here. So that one, what we can do is we can then prise that one into place, like so. And then I'm just going to then start to turn that one around here. So we're going to start in with this section there, and then we're going to follow. So if I follow all that way round, because we've got the ability to curve our cardstock, because we've got those little notches already snipped out, we can then go in. Now I'm not pressing too hard. That means what I can then do is then I can then lift it, move it, and then I can form it. I'm going to turn my hand around, and then we're going to go in section. So we're going to go 1, 2, we're going to go 3, and then we're going to go 4, like so. And then we're going to add that one in. What I am going to do is I would recommend, you can see here, see how I've put the tab on that outside? What to do, if I can prise that off here, pop it on the inside. No one's going to see all of that working. So if I take that one off here and then fold that in, there we go. No one's going to see that working. So pop in the little bit of adhesive so we can add that one in there, like that one. And then I'm just going to do the same on that opposite side here. We're going to pop that in to here, and we're going to add that one on. Now you don't need to join these together because one's the lid and one's the base. So we're going to peel that one off there and peel that one off here. We're going to then form that in to the edges, press that, form that in, and then press that in. So I'm just going to press with my finger, press with my finger. You can, of course, spend that little bit more time than myself. And then we're just going to press that in as we're going here. And then that one is going to be our lid. We've now got our lid with that curvature ready to go in with the base. Move that out the way, do exactly the same here. So we're going to go in. Of course, you're not necessarily going to have base and lid in, although I would recommend that you do write it in so that, of course, you know exactly what one is which. You know what is the base and what is the lid. If you don't do that, chances are you might get caught out. And hey, I've done it in the past, and no doubt I will do it again in the future. So just give that a little note so you remember which one's which. So I've got my tape on there, and then we're going to do exactly the same. So both base and lid are exactly the same. Difference is one slightly smaller than the other. Now with your red liner tape, the only thing you have to keep in mind is it can be quite instant. If you've pressed a little bit too hard, wet glue gives you that manoeuvrability. But going back to your red liner tape, it's instant, it's made, it's done. Your tacky glue, you just need to let that dry just a little bit longer. So let's go in here. So we're just going to then add that one over by connecting. So we're just going to connect that in, matching that up, and then press. And then we're doing exactly what we've done before. So I'm going to just press these little sections in, making this first one being the one that I'm focusing on. And what I'm also doing is with my finger underneath, I'm just enabling that to curve. So I'm pushing it in with my finger. We're going in section by section. Let's lock that one in there. And we're just following it around. And I'm following the outer edge of that half circle against that score line that we've got in place. So let's work that in and press, work that in and press. Let's work that one in, and lock these last ones into their section, pressing that in, going in with that edge, and then what we're going to do, press, and then let's press those intersections. That one is now, of course, my base. That will then fit perfectly in with, of course, the lid. And remember, we've got all of these dies here. Now, I've got them already cut out, but all that we're going to do is you're going to take all the colours that you want. You're going to run that through with the red, so let's do that. So let's take this one. And then because this says shedless glitter card, it means that you don't need to do anything different. You're going to take one of them, and you're going to get quite a few of your rainbows by doing this. And the reason being is from this cut, all that I'm needing is the red. So then I can use all these other ones for other projects. So that's my red one. That's all that I'm needing here. So I've got my red. I would then take my gold, do exactly the same, and then take the next size down. Do exactly the same in the blue, take the next side down, purple, then lilac, and all of these remaining sections that you've got, you can be using for future projects. So we're going to move that one out the way. You've got the outer die, so if you want to create a finished rainbow topper, you can do that. But let's take these ones. We've taken that die, so that's the one that I was referring to, and I've cut that in with white card. And then for this, even if we just go in with our tacky glue, and we're just going to go into the little sections of the rainbow. Now I'm using the tacky glue for this one. Your dotty tape runner is also brilliant for this little rainbow. So if we go in here, like so, and then we're going to overlay, and we're just going to go to that outer edge and press that one in. Because it's the glue, we've got that little bit of manoeuvrability. So let's hold and press. And then for the remaining ones, what we can do is we can then take my glue again. I'm just going to take that little nozzle off, and you don't need much. All that you need is a tiny, tiny little bit, right to the edge, of course. I'm going to dab any excess off when it comes to my finger. And then I'm going to lift up, and then we're going to pull that to the outer edge, Let's then go in with the gold. You can do whatever colours you want. You don't even have to use the Shedless glitter card. You could use your Centura Pearl. You can be using all of your linen card and have fun. So there's one. Let's go in with our next one. And then you're going to keep on going. You're going to then go in with the purple. You're going to go in with the lilac. Start to then pop them in with your Shedless glitter. So add the purple, add your lilac, and then once you've then layered them up, that's what you're going to be having that's left over. Now imagine even just using that as a separate topper. You can do that. It's a really good, sizable rainbow that you've created that you can then, of course, add onto your cards and your projects. Let's go in with our tape runner. What's lovely is you've got options. You can either build your rainbow on that separate die cut piece, or you can do it direct onto the lid of the box. It's entirely up to yourself, but then what we can then do is we can go into place, neatens up the edge, press that in, that whole one that we've created in front of your eyes. So we're just going to get our finger in there. We're going to then peel it apart, prise that apart. You've got your box lid, you've got your box base, and then you can start to decorate till your heart's content with all your sentiments from past craft clubs, all your papers from past craft clubs, and of course, you've got your ribbon, which is included within this craft club. This craft club, all about your decorative box techniques, and it's number 20, all about all the boxes.